Doesn't sound like it's on. Is it on?
I can talk loud though.
Oh, that's
We're good?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that everybody could be here tonight. I didn't know what to expect. Sometimes it's like 7 to 10 people. Sometimes it's like 20 or more. So it's kind of something interesting with this testimony. I've only done my testimony once before, and it was a couple of years ago, and I wrote word for word what to say. And I was going to change a few things at the last minute, and the Lord said word for word. Read it word for word, so I did. And this time, He did not want me to write anything or even think about what I was going to say, that He would give me the words to speak. So we'll all just be surprised together. So the first thing is, I know a lot of people, Paula, Miss Paula, you raise your hand, please. Miss Karen, Miss Christy, and Miss Alice, I met all of these ladies through the Breakthrough Center. And I remember tonight that my son is actually the one who gave me the number for the Breakthrough Center. And that's how I ended up there. So, if I have to tell a little bit of my story because some of y'all don't know it. So, I'm thankful that I was addicted to narcotics for 10 years. And I know that sounds weird, but like Miss Karen said, if you don't know me, I'm just weird. But if you know me, it's a Jesus thing, it's a faith thing, and it's all good. If I would not have been addicted to narcotics for 10 years, I thought I was fine before that because my house was immaculate, my kids were immaculate, you know, everything status quo was great, but I did not have a spiritual life. And I would have continued to live that way and thought everything was fine. But I was in the pit. And I did learn while I was there that there's no bottom to the depths of despair. There's literally no bottom. You just keep going. And it just so happens before I lost everything, let me go back a little bit. I was married. He passed away. This all happened in my addiction. I got survivor's benefits from being married. And I had 3 children, and the survivor's benefits were fixing to stop. My oldest son was fixing to move, which he's 22, I'm 44, so we've been together like half my life, literally. I cried like the first night he went out with his friends all night without me. It was like, you know, what's going on? Total identity crisis. The Lord reached in and snatched me out right before the benefits stopped, right before he ran off, and right before I literally killed myself with pills. And I knew that it was coming. So I do remember getting on my floor in my room, and I say crouch down. I don't know why that's a big deal to me, but I have to use that word for some reason. I literally crouched down, and I put my cigarettes in one hand, and I put my pill bottles in the other, and I just lifted them up. And this was something new to me. I didn't know. I knew to call God, you know, I knew he was there, but I'd never seen anybody walk it out. I'd never seen anybody literally pray. Like I remember going to church once growing up, and I think my grandmother sent us to Vacation Bible School maybe once. So anyway, I got down and I said, Lord, you know, if you don't save me from this, it's going to kill me. We both know this. Yeah. You know, please show me that you're bigger than this, that you can do this. And so the next thing I know, I'm in a hospital in Tupelo, Mississippi for 4 months. And I was committed there, and that's all good too. I got off of everything. It's like it never happened. There was no withdrawals. It was just gone. Like it had never happened. I went back and visited the 80s for a while, mentally, emotionally. That's where there's a song out now that says, you know where I left me. So he went back to get me there. So apparently back in the 80s was where something went wrong. Spent a little time there, and I learned that instead of numbing those feelings with the alcohol or the pills or whatever, you know, your vice is, if you'll just feel it, it comes and it doesn't feel good, but if you'll just let it come and feel it. You have to embrace it, even though it's not feeling good. It'll go.
Hallelujah.
It doesn't stay, and it's okay. But you know, he says when you walk through the deep waters, is it that he'll not let them overtake you? Well, being numb to the pain for so long with all those painkillers, I thought if I cry that first tear, man, I'm gonna drown. Like, this is huge. Like, I've been messed up for 10 years. How can I face 10 years of crap all at once? Because that's like your most sentimental moment magnified by a billion too when you're coming off of drugs, you know. So he was there. Like, I just felt it and let it run its course, and then it went away. And I have to run from it. I spent all that time pushing it down and pushing it back, thinking I'm going to outrun this, I'm going to push it away, it's going to be gone. But it always catches up. It always catches up. So I'm going on 5 years free from, and I'll say it, I was on Oxycontin, which is synthetic heroin. I was on methadone. I was on Adderall. I was on Percocet, Lortab, pretty much whatever I could get my hands on, pill-wise. And I like to say, for some reason, because Tennessee's coast is so close, I was like Elvis. We took something to wake up, stay awake, go to bed. So yeah, I was hook, line, sinker. I was right there. And like I said, that was 10 years. And when I got out of the hospital, I was in there 4 months. I had lost my children, my home, my vehicle, everything. And I'm so thankful for that. And you know that has to be a God thing, if you can say that. Because even though the Lord and I, we still work through that now. There's many times, you know, there's tears and there's hurt, but I just feel it, let it come, let it go, surrender it to Him, because there's nothing I can do about it. What's done is done. I'm doing the best I can. And even on drugs, I did the best I could, you know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful for that, because if the devil had his way and the Lord had not come and grabbed me out, and I mean literally, I would not be here right now, and I know that. There's a song I like, it says, how many deaths did I die before I was awakened to new life again? So, let's see. My biggest thing right now is obedience, like Miss Karen said, in the body of Christ. You know, like I was talking to my friend Paula today about, you know, I'll be on fast and I'll be in the Word and I'll be walking the walk and talking the talk and doing, you know, not like a religious thing, but it's the goodness of God that overtakes me, and it's like, this is, you know, I prepared this way, I went ahead of you, this is yours to walk in, and I'm going to show you how and help you do it or whatever. It's hard because, like, we're all members of one body, and so everybody's got to be doing their part. And like, you know, this is serious. I used to have on my refrigerator, it said right or wrong, good or bad, heaven or hell. You know, there's like only 2 choices for eternity. And I know that people who don't know much about spiritual things, especially spiritual warfare, it sounds weird, it sounds crazy, but it's, you know, whether you believe it or not, you're going to one place or the other. And you know, every single day, like every single choice we make, there's a song about it. It's a literal act of war. We're going to end up somewhere. And it's going to be good or bad, right or wrong, heaven or hell. Like, and I just like people to get honest with themselves, you know, instead of running away from stuff. Like the conference we went to was the gathering. What was that we went to, Christy? Yeah. Whatever they call it. You know, all these people stood up and admitted these things that they would not even say, you know, to their husband or wives or whoever. You know, He's reaching, but we've got to reach back. Like, He's God, He can do anything, but you know, who wants a relationship with a robot? Like, He wants He's God. He wants to help you. You know, like He made you. It's you don't come to Him like, I'm all cleaned up and everything's good. You know, what can I do for you? It's not like that. I mean, He wants the snot. He wants the ugly face. He wants the 4 o'clock. No, you can't call anybody. You know, nobody's there. And it's like that every second of every day. It doesn't matter if you're in your car, if you're at work, if you're in the bathroom. You know, just be real with Him. Be real with yourself. We get this one time to walk out this one life. And, you know, just be authentic. Nobody can be you better than you. You know, when you're a kid and you're a teenager, it's all about like, oh, well, her hair this, and, you know, I wish that, and blah, blah, blah. This is me. I mean, this is it. Like, I'm satisfied. I'm glad that He made me the way He made me, you know? And I'm so glad that all y'all are here, and even the ones that I don't know, because He loves y'all, I love y'all. And we're like members of one body. So I'm just saying, like, every day, every decision you make, just remember that whether you feel it or not, whether you see Him or not, He's there. And He's watching you. You know, like, this has eternal value. Every word that I'm saying tonight is being recorded in heaven. My testimony has eternal value, just like my soul does. He says we overcome Him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, and that we do not love our lives unto death. And we don't love them. I was studying yesterday about Paula had sent her husband a text message. He was out of town. And she said, I miss you, hurry home. You know, we're supposed to be hastening the day that He comes back. We're supposed to be so, like, we want to be in His physical, literal presence. You know, like, nothing's okay without Him. And it takes brokenness to admit that. The world wants to say, put your mask on, oh, I got this, everything's fine, I know it all, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. We were not made for that. We were made for Him, for Him. That is the only reason why we were here. And if we're not giving Him praise and worship and praying to Him, it's praise, presence. What's the other one, Miss Karen? It starts with a P. Help me out. Praise, presence, and prayer. You know, then we're just wasting our time. We're just taking a long way to hell. I mean, it's that simple. So when y'all are at school or whatever, and I know it's not cool, you know, everybody's going one way or whatever, and it's hard to go back this other way. But, you know, it's worth it if you have this end goal in mind. And it's kind of cliche these days, like, He's coming back, and people sing songs about it. I believe it. You know, and I literally was committed for it. Like, and hey, it's all good. But this white horse with his man coming back, and He's coming to pick me up. Yeah, I believe it, because He said it. So does that make me crazy? Crazy good. That's what I think. But, so I was reading about the plankton. And this girl, Sadie Roberts, y'all might have seen it. It's on YouTube. And she was talking about this plankton. They're at the bottom of the ocean or whatever. And they have to fight the current. They can't swim against it. So they just kind of float around. And everything is trying to eat them. But they make it to the top. And she was explaining they make it to the top because they have this promise. So, like, that's why God made them. They're going to the light. They're going to the top. So they're okay because they know what they're made for. And they get to the top and they get the sunlight and take, like, the photosynthesis or whatever. They go back into the dark and fight all that way again against all these things that can eat them to go back and take the light. And then she said, like, when you step on them, they light up, but they don't do it until they're stepped on. And I can totally relate to that. Because like I said, I'm thankful. As bad as it was, I'm thankful for those 10 years that I was messed up. I could not appreciate me standing here now and my heart for my Maker without that. And so, and I did feel stepped on, but at the same time, He had a plan. So it was like I was glowing while they were trying to mess me up. So, just, you know, just be like raw and honest with yourself and with him and with each other. Because when we stand before him, he is the embodiment of truth, and you can't escape it. Like, you don't even have to say any words, it's just there. The truth is known. And isn't that awesome to know, like with us, Miss Karen, you know, there's just an understanding there. We're just ourselves. We know that both of us want good. I mean, isn't that good, y'all? Isn't that good in like this world we live in where there's so much hate and there's so much violence? That there's somebody and he's fought for good and he's laid down his life for it. And I guess that's what I'm saying in so many words, like it comes down to good or evil. Which side do you want to be on? Because you're going to pick a side. And like when he calls you to obedience to something, I found like before smoking was taken from me, you know, I was like, okay, today's the day, yeah, today. Well, then it was like, I'd smoke double. Because it was like, I knew it was fixing to be taken from me. But you know, and then I realized, I was like, I'm not the mountain mover. He is. What am I thinking, you know? So, it's just like trial and error is the best way I can explain it. And so many other things he's taught me. I thought like if I didn't get it right the first time that he was so disappointed in me and that I should just give up and that I wasn't good enough. If you're still breathing, he's not done.
Yes.
I don't care if you mess up like all the numbers they ever made. If you're still breathing, try one more time. He will blow your freaking mind. So, I guess that's my thing, like authenticity, if I can say it. Just being rare, you know, being who you're made to be. Whether people call you weird or, you know, something's not right with her. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? It's like, you don't know, but I pray you will. Be honest with him, be honest with yourself. When he asks you to do something, you know, prayer is, I've heard it's like the walkie-talkie. Like you're in communication with him. You got to be in constant prayer about it, y'all. You can't pray about it in the morning and leave the house and think, well, you know, I prayed about it, and then you find yourself under attack. That doesn't mean you failed. You're under attack because you're doing something. If you're not under attack, you ain't doing nothing. He don't care. You know, the devil, like, so if you have great opposition, that means you're moving the right way. It's not a bad sign, it's a good sign. When they call you weird or you stand up for what you believe in and other people make fun of you or whatever, it's worth it. This is temporary, it's just a moment. You know, like you can get hives, you can start sweating, it can give you anxiety, whatever. But you make the right decision and stay with it. And walk it out and see what he does with it. I don't know what else to say.
That's awesome. Everything you said, I just say amen.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Well, I love him, and I'm only here because of him. And that's the verse that's been coming to my mind recently is, my life is not mine, but I was bought with a price. You know, I should have died way back there in the pit. And it's like whatever days are left, they're his. You know, we wrestle. I mean, me and him, we wrestle.
Yes.
And it's good, and it's fun, and it's, you know, it's sad, and it's hard, and it's great, and it's, oh my gosh, and it's all these things, but he's there.
Yeah.
He's so there.
Yes.
And when I'm crying at night because my kids aren't there, and I don't know what's going on with them, and, you know, this should be this way, and oh my gosh, why is that way, and maybe I watch some of the news, and I'm like, what are people thinking, and just, it's just, I'm just sending. You know, I can't fix any of that, and I can't control any of it. And so I know that in prayer throughout the day, I laid it at his feet. All is well. He's there with me every moment. You know, a lot of people want, how do you know? What is this? What is that? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, taste and see that the Lord is good. I don't, you know, if faith, you can't always explain it. You know, and I think if you can, really great, then it's not altogether faith. And there's doubt in there too, you know, with the faith. I used to think, oh, I'm doubting, it's all bad, I'm crazy, they were right, this is bad, oh my gosh, the world's gonna blow up, blah, blah, blah. No, doubt is a part of faith. And it's a good part. It seems like it's a negative word, but anything God's got in his hands, which is all of it, because he made all of it, it's good. And like, that's another thing. When he made everything, he said it was good. And so he's taking us back there so we can be good. Because we're on the good side and not on the evil side. So just remember every day your prayer, your presence, and your praise. I literally, one day at work, somebody had upset me. And I went out to my car and I was going to have a hissy fit. And I looked down, and I'm a note freak. People know this if they know me. And it said, worship is a weapon. I cranked that radio up. Blah, blah, blah. And I was just, okay. So I go back in. Whole atmosphere completely different. Because I believed it. Mark 9:23, he says, what is that? All things are possible if you believe. I mean, you know, these kids, they watch these fake fairy tales and stuff, and they believe that. This is the creator of the universe, of heaven and earth. You know, he says just believe. So, and I'd say my last thing is my favorite verse. I think it's from Matthew 14. We were trying to figure that out earlier.
What's the verse will tell you?
Yeah, it's in there. I know it is. Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, you may be also. And that is the wedding thing. Like when he comes back. We were talking about that earlier. They get engaged, but they don't set a date for the wedding. It's like Jewish custom, I'm learning. And so he goes to prepare a home for them. And apparently, I mean, I'm just going to say this anyway, like, she's supposed to, like, bathe and smell pretty or something, like, every day and be ready to go because she doesn't know when he's coming back, so just to be ready at all times. So, does anybody know if that's Matthew 14?
John 14.
See, I said John first, but I was wrong. It's rare, but it happens. But he says he's going to prepare a place for us and that he's coming back. So I believe that he's coming back. I mean, that's our hope. We're going to go through heck every day fighting against the world and standing up for what we believe in. We want him to hurry up and come back because guess what? It's hard. It is not fun. I mean, it can be, but it can be not sometimes. So I just like one accord, everybody. Let's, you know, and then go out and get more. I mean, it's God's work, but we've got to do our part. So let's do our part to build up the body of Christ. And thank you very much.